Hi everyone, and thanks for joining Money Smart Mama, brought to you by Motherhood, a video series about family finances for you and your family. I'm your host Mahira Khan, and also a mom of one, and just like every other parent out there, sometimes I worry, maybe a little too much, about her future, especially with the rising cost of everything. In this new era of the pandemic, we have seen an increasing number of household debts in Malaysia, and as a busy mom that needs to prepare basic household chores for the family, we don't want to face such a crisis, and we need to start on a savings plan for our family. But here comes the important question: where and how do we start? Well, thankfully today we have Ritchie, a financial planning and investment trainer from V College and also a father of a 3-year-old boy, to shed some light on the essential money lessons for us mamas so that we can plan and manage our finances better. Well, welcome to the show, Ritchie.
Very good to see you, and very glad to be here.
Well, we're so happy to have you here, and we can't wait to hear all your tips and tricks for us money smart mamas. Okay, so if you're ready, shall we get to it?
Yeah, sure. Let's
Okay.
go.
All right, so I'll start with my first question first. So how can I start savings plan for my family?
Yeah, so in order to start a saving plan, actually it's important to first figure out what's the financial outcome that we want to achieve from this particular plan. So just make it a very lifestyle example. Like for example, when we are using GPS, at first we need to know where are we heading to. So where's the destination? With that, we were able to find a more optimum route in order for us to achieve that particular destination from the current location.
Right.
So for example, if one person wants to achieve 50,000 savings in 5 years' time, and with that goal in mind, and we're able to see and have a reality check on what's the current situation. So if the current situation is at 10,000, for example, so he or she has 5 years' time to achieve that 40,000 extra, right? So through that, we can actually look for different alternatives on what kind of saving plans or investment plans that can help us to achieve that particular goal. And we can actually calculate from there what's the exact amount that we need to save up every single month for us to achieve that.
Right.
Once having that picture of outcome in mind, so it's easier for us to work backwards and understand what kind of priorities that we need to focus on right now based on a saving plan. So for example, like cash flow management, savings and expenses, and also risk management as well. So we can also use some of the very handy financial management tools such as budgeting app, expenses trackers to help us achieve that goal.
Okay, all right. Didn't know that there were trackers and apps out there that we could use.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, so let's move on to our second question then. How would you say that the saving plan should be a priority for a family? Why is it so important?
Yeah, saving plan is actually crucial for a family, especially when for them to cushion for unforeseen circumstances, emergencies such as sudden loss of income stream, and then unwanted illnesses or accident. Setting up an emergency fund is important, right? With the family members, whereby the fund size should be able to help them cover the family daily needs or expenses for at least 6 to 12 months, I would say, right? From the incident happens. So that's the bare minimum. Apart from preparing the emergency fund, so we should also look into what kind of risk management that we need to cover, right? That to ensure for such unwanted situation, right, at least there's additional fund or a reserve that we can actually activate to help us bear on those additional expenses or additional costs with this kind of unwanted circumstances. So that will not actually negatively impact.
So it wouldn't burden our lives, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
The most direct solution is actually to purchase, insurance coverages, whereby that can actually protect us from anything happening, right? For example, medical insurance, personal accident insurance, and also liability insurance, so on and so forth. Parents with kids, right? Then medical insurance and also personal accident insurance will be very, very crucial. In addition to that, we should also, consider the need for retirement plan. As a parent, what's the minimum saving that we need, right? At least for us to sustain the kind of lifestyle that we want to enjoy during our retirement. And last but not least, is also the education fund that we need to prepare for our next generation.
Well, that's a lot of things that we have to prepare for, a lot of financial planning, but I'm so glad that you said it out, because I think these are things that a lot of people don't really think about, especially when they have kids and all that. But yeah, when it comes to accidents or any sort of like this unforeseen circumstances, you never know when it might hit you in life, and I think it's better to be prepared, right?
Correct.
So thank you so much for stating all that. That was very informative. Okay, so let's move on to our next question then, shall we?
Sure.
Okay, so my third question for you is, in what way can I divide my money accordingly? How can I plan my money properly?
I actually get this question a lot, but personally I like this concept called the 6-jar concept, and I find it very practical and very useful. So the 6-jar concept is actually for us to segregate our net income into different categories. So for me, I will split into 6 different categories. Right? So the first one is will be expenses, whereby half of it, right, I allocate half of it to deal with my daily needs, right? So that's the expenses. The second 20%, and I'll allocate to my savings and also investment. So the purpose of that is actually to help me compound my personal wealth, right, in order for me to prepare my retirement as well. Right? And then the next 10%, I'll put it into a category called personal development. That's where I actually use those funds to sign up for courses, continue to brush up my own skills, in order for me to continue add value to myself and also to the community around me. Yeah. And the last 2 category, right, I split the 10% to my children's education fund, and the remaining 10 I split it into 5-5, where one of the first 5 is actually to self-reward. Like for example, I will look for things that I want instead of I need.
Like holidays.
Yeah. So those kind of funds actually come from there. Right. So sometimes we work very hard, and we also have to
we want to enjoy. Yeah, we want to enjoy life as well, isn't it?
Yes, we have to reward ourselves. Spend some time with the family. So that's where the 5% comes, and the last 5% I dedicate to charity, whereby I actually contribute some of it to the organizations that I think they are in need. Yeah, it's kind of flexible, where you can actually adjust according to your own liking.
Yeah, your own personal needs, I guess.
Correct. In terms of the percentage and also the categories. Right. But if someone find that this kind of method is too complicated to manage, he or she can actually apply a very simple 50-30-20 rule.
So how does that work?
Yeah, so the 50% of the net income can actually set aside to deal with necessities, right? Like for example, your daily need, your rent, your mortgages, utilities, food, transportation, so on and so forth. And then the 30% can allocate to savings, investment, personal development, and also children education fund. So probably just lump them together. Right? And then the last 20% will be parked under personal wants.
I love both of them. So one is like more in detail, the other one's a bit more simplified, but both are very... Love it.
Yeah, then probably someone can start off with the later.
Yeah,
and then fine-tune it.
Yeah, fine-tune it like how you did with what was it called? The 6-jar
concept.
The 6-jar concept. Okay, I'm gonna start doing that. All right, so now let's move on to our next question then. So how can budgeting really save my expenses?
A lot of people say that budgeting is important, but to me, my realization after practicing all this financial planning is that I find there's one magic formula for successful and sustainable saving habits, is to take the income first minus off the savings that we need to keep, right? And what's remaining, only we consider them as expenses. So this kind of contradict with the mindset that we've been inculcated from many years ago. Yeah. Whereby whatever is spent, that's left, we keep it as saving. But in the end of the day, we find it the target of saving is not desirable to our target. So by taking saving aside and then spend the rest, I think that will be more
practical and efficient.
And in this context, we're actually putting saving at the utmost priority, right? So we know where to focus on before spending any money. Right? So with this practice, this person or us, right, very high chances that we will not run into situations like over budgeting, overspending, because whatever is spent is actually what's left. Right? Yeah. So beside this method, you actually ensure us to always have a large amount of money for other productive applications, like for example savings and also investment.
Yeah, because once you've already set it aside, you've already basically tuned your mind into saying, okay, this is how much I have left.
Correct.
And it's easier for you to allocate your money and budget wisely.
Yes.
Okay.
A very simple equation, but it sets the mindset right.
Yeah. What advice could you give us mamas in order to motivate us to start saving for the family?
Saving is actually, first of all, able to provide us a sense of security financially. With a very robust saving plan, we can actually have flexibility to make wiser choices in our life, because I believe in life itself is not only making as much money as we can, build wealth as many as we can, but we also have to focus on things that we care the most, right? So with this, I think we're able to dedicate our time, energy, resources for things that we love the most, right? For example, our loved one. So
our family members and all,
Yes, with proper financial planning and minimize all the financial worries, right? Then you're able for us to to have a better life.
Yeah, so okay, that's so well said, because a lot of families go through this pressure when they don't plan their finances properly. They get into lots of arguments and stresses. That's why we need people like you here to help us, help guide us, mamas, to becoming financially smart and plan our finances properly. Well, thank you so much, Ritchie, for coming on the show, and thank you for helping us money smart mamas keep our children financially secure. We hope that you've enjoyed and learned from today's program. Stay tuned for our next episode on Money Smart Mama for more financial tips for the family. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again next time. Till then, I'm Mahira Khan.
I'm Ritchie.
And this is motherhood.com.my. Bye!